This is the video that I watch all the time. Can you see it? Can you see it there? Look at this. Look at that. Look how he flies. Look how smooth it is. I try to copy this right here. Can you see it? Can you see it from there? Wait, he's gonna do it again in slow motion. Hold on. Right here. Watch. He's first out. Look how he opens his legs, like one in front of the other. He forces out. He bends his legs. I bend my legs too. Right there. Look. See, one leg in front of the other. He splits. I do that just to be like him. Opens and there's still time. There's no way you cannot fall in love with that, man.
Greatest trapeze artist of all time, Miguel Vazquez.
He was alone in his greatness with what he achieved. He took the circus to the summit of athletic and artistic perfection. He did it so classically, so cleanly, and with a little bit of, you might say, a certain flair, but an understated flair. He didn't show off. It's almost like it's an illusion to me, but it's almost like he was honoring his art. Now that's an illusion probably, but
There was a time when the circus came to town and raised its tent, the Big Top. A tent so cavernous as to contain 3 rings. But not anymore, and I know why. And there was a time when every circus presented amazing animal acts. Elephants, tigers, lions, but not anymore, and I know why. And there was a time, not so long ago, when the most anticipated and exalted of all circus acts was the flying trapeze. It showcased the prince and princesses of the circus. But not anymore. And I don't know why.
What happened to trapeze? What happened was life. The audience changed. We see every action hero go running off the building with 100 feet of rope, holding in one hand, and he reaches for the girl and he grabs the girl and they swing through the plate glass and he held on by one hand. Yeah, that's reality. That's because we just saw it. It just happened. When your audience, when their reality is that the impossible is possible, it's not so special when you go to the circus and you see impossible actually happening in front of you.
75 years, the standard of excellence on the flying trapeze has been the legendary triple somersault. Just when you think you've seen it all, along comes Miguel Vazquez. He will attempt, one time only, the incredible quadruple somersault. 4 turns through the air to the hands of his brother Juan, the catcher. Miguel Vazquez.
I don't think there'll be anybody else like Miguel Vazquez. I think he's so far superior. He developed into perfection. I mean, he represents perfection.
You're not gonna find another one like him. You're never gonna find anything like that ever again.
He's probably the best flyer I've ever seen.
I wanted to become as good as he was, but nobody can be as good as he was.
Miguel Vazquez is above all of the times and all the flyers together.
I'd say the Vazquez brothers are definitely the greatest trapeze act in history. I doubt that anybody will ever quite equal what they've done.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest show on earth is proud to present a feat unparalleled in circus history. A quadruple somersault to the hands of the catcher, attempted by the first and only performer to have mastered this amazing feat, Miguel Vazquez. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed the most sensational feat in all of circus history by Miguel and Juan Vazquez.
Circus really disappearing. The art it's not what it used to be. What happened to the great circus artists? There's very few left. You know, it's not happening anymore, and those are the reasons why, you know, you get you know, what word I want to use, you disappointed really, or you know, just nothing there to motivate you anymore.
Trapeze acts have always held a special place in the hearts of circus fans. Once, doing even a single somersault into the arms of the catcher was considered an amazing feat. And then it was a double, and then a triple, which many considered impossible. Miguel Vazquez has since pushed the limits even further. Now I'd like you to meet the Flying Vazquez. Hello. Juan, Patricia, Milton, and Miguel. You know, the amazing thing about the Flying Vazquez is that this is a family. There's a family tradition. How long has the family been involved in the circus?
Well, we are the 5th generation.
We used to live in a tent. You see, in Mexico, there's mosquitoes and snakes and spiders, scorpions. We always used to sleep on the floor because we didn't have enough beds for us. So my father was afraid, you know, if one of these scorpions, you know, bit one of my kids, you know, we don't have the money to take him to the hospital. So he used to, they sell a rope, a manila rope, about an inch thick, that has got points in it. He used to put that around where you used to sleep. So when if a scorpion comes crawling through that, these little pointed things didn't let him pass, you know, the boundary. My father's name is Manuel Vazquez. My mother's name is Reina Rodriguez. I have 5 brothers, Martin, Felipe, Pepe, Vinicio, Miguel. I have 3 sisters, Martha, Margarita, and Wendy's. And almost all my brothers and sisters, at one time, they were circus performers. My father used to play the trumpet with Circus Union, you know, one of the biggest circus in Mexico. And we used to drive from one town to another, you know, when it rained, you know, muddy and cold and hot. But I guess we got used to it. My uncle Pablo called my mother, and then I started rehearsing the gymnastics. He said that he needed somebody to go to Europe because he was going to make the troupe a little bigger.
It's been passed down through 4 generations of the family, and it's still what you might call a very swinging act. Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Hippodrome, would you all greet the Rodriguez Troupe.
He's the one who teach me not only how to do the tricks, but how to present myself in front of the audience. And I did gymnastics with him for over 15 years.
Yeah, I bring Juan with me, and then I bring Felipe. So they start practice, all the art start getting better, and bigger, and it's how we stayed there all those years. So, you know, it's not big looking, never was big looking, but the people like it. The girls like it the way he was. Well, now with Patricia it's different.
My father came from Cuba to Colombia to perform in a circus. My mother at the time was working with her family. They used to do the wire act. He got a contract to the States, and we came here. I was 5. We're 2 sisters, and I was 5, Rosa was 2. He used to do a head balancing act, trapeze, and also a roly-poly act. And we started touring here in the States. I used to do headstands and handstands. Juan and I met in 1974.
So they had the flying act and we had the bar acts.
Well, he was a pest from the beginning. He was an interesting character, very persistent, but very friendly.
I was like a Casanova. I used to go out with a lot of girls.
I wasn't looking for a boyfriend.
No, because you had a boyfriend.
That's right. You know, I'm 17, and I'm not exposed to, you know, these guys with their little purses and the big platform shoes, the real tight pants, and
we just came from Europe, and Europe usually, you know, they make some purses for men. I mean, if you have you tight pants, there is no way you can put your wallet in it because it doesn't show your body.
We're talking about tight pants.
Tight pants, yes. High heels.
And I wasn't used to it, so it was questionable at the beginning. I was like, are they or are they not?
Yeah.
But I was attracted to him anyway.
The family got too big, and so we decided to do the flying act. It wasn't easy because we was used to do the bars, not the flying trapeze. The timing was a little bit different, and we bought the complete rig from Tony Steele.
It was $2,000.
We rent a U-Haul, and then we took it to Florida to start practicing. It was Felipe, Vinicio, my wife, my brother's wife, and myself. You practice for an hour and a half, because then your hands start hurting and the catcher starts to get dizzy like me. The first time I went up there, I was about 2-3 minutes, and then I come down and I was like, my sister-in-law and my wife, you know, when we got together, when we put the troupe together with Miguel, these 2 girls, they do one trick, 1 minute, and they talk for 15 minutes, and here's me.
Bueno, Miguel nació un poco chico y poco peso y algo enfermizo.
We took care of him. We made sure we did, because Mom used to wrap him up, turtlenecks, you know, 3 sweaters, and it was just Mama's little boy. So, you know, that I always remember that, because he was kind of sickly when he was little.
I was working with my cousin's circus, the Circus Hermanos Vazquez in Mexico, with my dad. I was playing the drums back then. I must have been around, 10 or 11 years old.
He was part of the show, and he was very professional on that, you know. Other than that, he was always all over the circus doing something bad.
my cousin Memo and me, we started practicing, but more playing than anything else, going up and swinging, and started doing like a layout and stuff. But that was like my first experience with flying in the trapeze. And my brothers heard that I will swing in Mexico already, so says, okay, just send them over, we probably can use them. I thought it was still going to be like playing like it was in Mexico, but all of a sudden it was a serious thing where I didn't really like it anymore, because now it's not a game anymore.
Our first job with the trapeze was Hannaford Circus. And then we moved to another circus, the Tarzan Sabini Circus. And then that, we always wanted to go to Ringling.
And over ring 3 from Mexico, the flying Vazquez. The legendary triple somersault attempted over ring 3 by Miguel Vazquez.
And when people saw Miguel doing the triple, they said, wow, man, you do a high triple. I never saw anybody do the triple besides you. Why don't you guys go for the quadruple?
It's hard even to dream of a quadruple somersault. And for many years, in fact, the first 123 years of trapeze history, that's all it was, a dream. There were occasional reports that someone might have done it in practice, but never where it counted in the ring.
Everybody wanted to be the first to do the quad. What the heck's the matter with people? It's hard enough to do 3, how you can do 4?
Nobody believed that people could make a quadruple somersault. Understand, the issue of the quad was that the flyer himself, or herself, would be spinning so fast that for them to make the catch was almost impossible. And even if they did, the impact was so heavy that they could lose it right there.
4 is impossible. Absolutely, positively.
We've been practicing for months already, night after night, 20 to 25 quads.
After 3 or 4 months, Miguel said to me, well, I think they're right, it's going to be impossible. We talk about it to, another 2-3 weeks, and then if nothing happened, we're gonna stop trying.
And I remember I would be in the seats here and, watching them practice or running around, and then when he was about to throw the quad, we would pause and watch. My mom would always, she's a big supporter of my uncle, so she would come and watch them practice and give them a little bit of let's do it.
We're in Long Beach. It was August of '81.
The last one, it was very in the hands and was kind of slippery, came out.
And he came down, my Uncle Miguel, and he said to my mom,
I'm tired, that's it, did it for today. Then I get up and I told Miguel, do one more. This is the one you're gonna do.
I said, okay, we'll go and try one more time. Right where we always used to miss, all of a sudden, we didn't miss.
And I grabbed him. There was something like, did I got him or I'm dreaming?
The trick was not finished all the way, unless you return back to the pedestal board. So to be on the safe side, I remember my brother Juan saying, the second one, which that means we're gonna take one more swing and then we go, just to make sure we didn't miss it.
Everybody started jumping, especially Margarita.
There was a camera,
My husband Mario was in charge of taping the practices.
When we caught the quad and we finally got down, man, we were saying, I hope my brother-in-law actually taped this thing.
Gee, I hope I pushed the right button in the camera. He was so nervous.
I was at the trailer, but somebody came running and told me, oh, Miguel caught the quad, Miguel caught the quad. And I came out of that trailer with like a crazy person. We stayed up until late talking about it and looking at the video and thinking how incredible and like a dream. It's surreal.
It was like a big weight lifted off my shoulders, like, okay, it's done. What they call impossible, it was actually possible.
All of a sudden, who the hell is this Miguel Vazquez? He catches a quad.
You had Juan, who was a really good catcher, and he was getting better. And you had Miguel, who was an incredibly tall flyer at his time, just really tall, very thin, and strong as an ox. It was sort of like if you look at Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was this tiny little 150-pound man, but he could decimate the largest and heaviest and strongest foes because he was rock solid. And that's where Miguel was.
The fellas were coming to town and they wanted to see our videotapes of the quad. Mr. Fell says, congratulations, I won the quad.
Because he wanted us to attempt the quadruple somersault doing performers.
But during practice, they had caught the quad a couple of times. But when it came to doing the quad in the show, there was a lot of pressure because it only counts, theoretically, it only counts when you're in front of a live audience.
For months we couldn't catch a quad.
Miguel Vazquez will attempt before our cameras and before a live audience here in St. Petersburg, not a triple, but a quadruple somersault. Now what you're going to see is really going to happen. There's no editing, no special effects. I have to tell you, Miguel has succeeded in accomplishing the quadruple somersault, but so far only in practice.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest show on earth is proud to present Miguel Vazquez.
When I don't make it, well, I feel down, you know, like I didn't put enough attention into it.
I started growing tired, you know, missing and missing and missing and missing. Started getting old. And Mr. Fell showed up and he says, "Hey, boys, what's going on? What's going on with the quad? You know, you guys need to get your act together."
And it was Tucson, Arizona. I'll never forget it. It was hot, hot.
I used to like the hot weather because it made your body feel good.
Oh, and we would talk backstage in the clown alley. You know, we had 26 clowns back then. Come on, Miguel's good. It's got to be the night.
There, after I took my first swing, warm-up swing, I felt really light.
And we used to get in trouble because we were peeking out the curtain.
When you see movies, everybody's speaking. That was true. Everybody was speaking.
When the time came, they announced, you know, the quadruple somersault. And I said, well, here we go. And I started spinning, and I felt that I stayed in that one place, you know. It almost felt like a slow motion for some reason. It felt like 1, 2, 3, which it was excellent because I didn't have to think fast that night, you know. Normally it's like really fast and you're done. That night, for some reason, everything slowed down.
When they caught it and they were going back towards the apron of the net, we were like, please, please don't drop him, because a lot of times they caught, and by the time they did the backswing and went to the back of the net, he would fall into the apron. Then when he came back and he caught the bar and we got to the pedestal, we were all flipping out. It was like amazing, man. He caught the quadruple somersault and we were there. It was like a moment in the history of the circus that can never be duplicated again, ever.
When we came down, you know, they all run in, toss me up, and it's just great memories.
Miguel Vazquez, a 17-year-old member of the Flying Vazquez circus team, is more than just another daring young man on a flying trapeze. He's the first ever to complete a quadruple somersault from the flying trapeze.
This is San Diego, where Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey opened the Big Top this week. But the elephants aren't the main attraction. It's 17-year-old Miguel Vazquez, the human pinwheel.
Then it became more of a passion. You know, it was something that you think while you're laying in bed. It's something that you think when you get up in the morning and you start thinking about new things and new tricks and new heights.
It's estimated that at one point during the stunt, Vazquez's body was traveling 75 miles an hour, which of course is well over the speed limit. But then to give him a ticket, you'd have to catch him, and only his brother does that.
That is a really funny feeling when you're actually spinning and you can stay in one place. It's a feeling when I break for my
for my trick when I break on my sit. And I know it's just right. It's a feeling like something is pulling you upward. It's a force that you feel is something that is not normal, you know, it's just like something kind of brutal. We started catching with more consistency, but the pressure never really did let out. I remember in 1984, the Fells made a poster about the quadruple somersault, and it says the Flying Vazquez, featuring Miguel Vazquez, the first human ever to accomplish the seemingly impossible quadruple somersault. So that's like a ton of brakes on your shoulders now, because those posters, they're everywhere, and the publicity is on you, and people want to come and obviously see a quad.
Been many guys that cut quad, maybe 7, 10, I don't know. But it's not what catching it. It's just the hard part is keep it up.
And a lot of people start putting the catcher lower. So now you got more space to do quadruple somersault or double, you know, it give you a lot of more time to go down and then catch down there. But flyers like Miguel, like Gaonas, like Farfans, they always eat it between that space. But some of the flyers learn, oh no, I don't want to call it shit.
We practiced for a little bit a quintuple. If we would have tricked the rig like a lot of people do, maybe it could have been a lot possible.
We wanted to have family, and I said, why don't we get your sister Rosa? So she talked to Rosa, and they said, Rosa, you know, I want to have family. Would like to come and fly, you know, with the guys?
She asked me if I would come and take her place while she had kids. So I said, you know, that sounded great to me, to work with the Flying Vazquez.
At the beginning, I was excited to be flying with the Vazquez, but yeah, I didn't think, oh, you know, I'm gonna get hooked up with Miguel Vazquez or anything like that. Yeah, as time went on, then kind of started talking more, and I started, you know, being attracted to him.
The last thing you expect is, I mean, she's my baby sister, that she's going to go on a date with, you know, Juan's brother, Miguel.
I saw him that night like I never saw him before. Like I had never noticed him before. And that's when we fell in love.
I'm shocked.
Oh, she's in total shock.
I'm like, what?
He was very serious, and so was I. I was a very serious girl.
Especially, you know, at 18, you would think he would have been crazy and wild. Here's the kid that did the quad. He's going to be here and there.
Yeah,
but no.
I think 5 months into like our relationship, he asked me if I would marry him.
Mm-hmm. She comes and tells me they're going to get married, and I'm like, think about it. Have you thought about this through? And she's very seriously, yeah. And Miguel was with her, and I said, are you sure, Miguel? I mean, this is my sister, okay?
Here, we're getting engaged in Boston, Massachusetts, in front of a live audience. That was Mr. Irvin Fell's idea. Then he talked to both of us and arranged us to go up in the platform before the act, and for Miguel to give me my engagement ring and a rose up there. So then Mr. Fell says to Miguel, well, you know, Miguel, I would really be interested in taking care of everything and doing a big spectacular for your wedding. At a traditional Spanish wedding.
We are standing right outside the church where Rosa and I got married 27 years ago. My wife is just absolutely beautiful. She was stunning. We actually stood there for a little while. You know, they were taking pictures and.
All the cameramen are telling him to kiss me. And he was hesitating because it was full of people. And we looking at each other like, do we do this or not?
Mr. Fell had it all planned, you know, he's the showman of showmen.
Neither one of us knew there was a carriage with 2 horses waiting for us. I was overwhelmed by everything that was going on. And I remember leaning to Miguel and saying, wow, this is amazing, isn't it? It's really beautiful.
because we really didn't know the magnitude of what Mr. Fell was going to do.
Practically the whole street from here all the way till we made it to the arena, it was full of people.
When we got to the arena, it was even more overwhelming. They had set up a big platform with the cake. Mr. Fell, Kenneth Fell, the priest who married us, they toasted. And we cut the cake. And then all of a sudden I look and here comes an elephant with a big sign, just married. And we both looked at each other like, oh no.
Yeah.
The greatest show on earth has sparked one of the greatest romances. Weddings require only 1 or 2 rings. Here's a ceremony that had 3.
Miguel Vazquez and Rosa America Sagredo were married today in Sarasota, Florida, winter home of the Ringling Brothers Circus.
Crowds lining the route of a post-nuptial parade swelled into the thousands. Some schools were closed, and this city took on a festive mood.
See, not only as a trapeze artist, but as a husband, he's an amazing person. And that's why I don't get bored of him or tired. And I still love him like yesterday.
In my career, I learned to do the costumes, and I made the costume for my family, so I passed from me to her. When I got married, I started to design and make the costumes for the Flying Vazquez. The pattern, the colors, we also made the capes. I painted, and then I put the stones. So this is one of Miguel's costumes, and this is the one that Mr. Feld picked for the poster for the program for the Ringling Brothers Barnum Bailey Circus. We learned early on that the bold colors, the bigger colors, looked better from far away. You just don't go to a store and buy this made. I actually go and we pick out the fabric that we like, and the embellishing, the sequins, the stones, and whatever design we've decided to put on that particular set. I've made sets of tights that we actually couldn't wear because Miguel felt very constricted. You know, because they do many tricks, they have to use materials that really stretch. Nowadays, you find amazing fabrics. Before you didn't. You see this wonderful fabric and you're like, oh, I like it, I'm going to do it, and then the design doesn't really work.
Este no me gusta.
¿No te gusta?
No.
Every month we had a new costume to wear. And this is the capes that Lucy used to make. It's, I would say, about 25 pounds. Everything is hand beaded. It took us actually, between my mom, Rosa, and myself, 1 year to do the application one by one.
We were with Ringling Brothers for 9 years.
Daredevil performers who slap death in the face twice a day. For the circus is not a make-believe world. Every move is a calculated risk. One carelessly tied knot. A split second off timing and... No, it's not make-believe.
The people that are performing in this industry, in the circus, the things that they're doing are extremely dangerous.
I mean, just one mistake could cost you your life.
We used to do the flying trapeze, and then we have the 3 head balancing trapeze. It was Vinicio, me in the center, and Felipe. I don't know what happened to me that day. This is the ring, and these are the seats over here. I'm going over here, and when I go into the part of the ring, I'm feeling like I'm going to fall. And then when I come back over here, I'm falling. So I tried to grab myself from the bar, but I couldn't. But I felt something soft. And I landed on top of a lady who was walking by. I went up the hospital, and then, no, you're fine. She said, but the lady you landed on, then you broke her shoulder.
Unfortunately, I've seen and been around some horrific things.
Over. Ring 2, the incredible mid-air maneuvers of the dazzling Mademoiselle Marguerite Michel. What she do can make a person scream. Oh! Marguerite Michel is hanging only by her hair.
In February 20th, 1982, I did have a very bad accident doing my performance. My hairdo came out, broke, and I went to center ring to the last ring. I fell about 30 feet. I was in the hospital for maybe 7 to 8 weeks.
I think that she was going to die at a certain point.
The doctor told me, you're not going to be able to perform no more. But I did feel so good, I decided to go back to perform. After I had my fall, maybe I became more famous because I survived.
Well, my grandmother performed the hair hang act, and she's the one that taught my mom.
My daughter's performing right now with the Ringling Bros, and she's doing the act that I used to do. You got a good teacher.
It's when you reflect and you say, what am I doing?
Everything's so dangerous, you know. You can go long, hit the cashier.
Either you move crunch out of the way, which I've seen some catchers do, or you just take it. I mean, you just stay there and you throw yourself back and you just let them slam into you and hope you can find their hands to catch them.
You can land in the net bad.
I broke my leg, I broke my hand, I broke my neck, I broke my sternum on the net. That's not even missing the net.
Well, when I was like 11 and a half, 12 years old, we were practicing the trapeze and we were practicing something new for us. It's called a Russian swing under the pedestal board. You would stand on it and swing, and then you'd fly from there all the way to the catcher. One time the timing was off, everything was off, and I went to my dad's hand and my dad said, no. Something just goes boom and hits me like behind my ear. I was like, oh man, what happened? Who's on me? And then I noticed I had my little trampoline shoes on, and I noticed like the rubber sole from the shoes there, and I'm like, is that my foot? Because I broke it in 3 places. They put I think it's an aluminum rod inside the femur bone.
I see a lot of people, get hurt, killed, paralyzed for life.
Julio Farias was my father's sister's son, and he was actually one of the youngest flyers to do a triple.
In 1980, my father and I, we had an act, a flying trapeze act, on Ringling Brothers, and my uncle had his own act with his children on the opposite side of us. So we were working opposite to each other. And Julio, on the show, he used to do a 3.5. So my uncle would always have him throw a triple into the net with the mechanic, which is, he's tied up, you know, for security. I was standing on the platform looking across, and my cousin was ready to go. He was already high up on the pedestal with the bar on his hand. He flies, he swings into the front, and when he comes to the back of the pedestal, right at the very top, as he's coming down, we see when his belt gets stuck. And with the power of the swing, it just ripped the belt out. And my cousin flew straight out of the net into the ground. My father was the only one really hysterical, screaming, he killed himself, he killed himself. And we'd all say, no, no, he's not dead. As I got closer to my cousin, I remember his lips got really like purple. And I could feel, I could feel that. It's emotional to me because I was very close to him. They rushed him to the hospital, and he was connected to the machines. They were trying to bring him back. But he was in coma, and he wouldn't come back. But the show must go on, like always. So I remember that night, everybody's getting ready for the show. And I told my father, I can't do this. I can't. And my father says, yes, you can, Rosa, you can. Do it for him. I was crying the whole time we were flying. I couldn't stop. And we did our act, we came down, then we went to the hospital that night again. And my cousin was still hooked up to all the machines. A couple of days went by, and then they decided to pull the machine off. And my cousin died.
My father would really push Rosa a lot. You know, he wanted her to be the best woman flyer at the time. I think hadn't Julio died, I think she would have been able to accomplish what he wanted her to. And Rosa was a very good flyer. She was powerful. She had what it took to be a good flyer. But that affected my father. You know, when this happened, his perspective changed. When he saw what happened to Julio and the fact that his father wanted him to be the best so much and he pushed so much, I think he felt in a sense that it wasn't really worth it.
Sometimes you don't really think about it because it's just part of what you do and part of who you are. But you know, when you think about it, if you take the moment to think about it, then sometimes you say, well, it's not really even worth it for me to risk my life.
Sawdust is hard when a flyer falls from 60 feet in the air, but the show rolls just the same.
After we left Ringling in '89, we worked at the Big Apple Circus for a season, and after that, we performed in some of the biggest shows in Europe.
The Flying Vazquez. Stars des Abends, Flying Vazquez. Und das ist Miguel.
The Festival of Monte Carlo is a dream of almost every performer.
Festival is held every year in Monte Carlo. The best circus acts in the world compete there for the Golden Clown Award. We see full house, all kinds of important people, VIPs and circus impresarios. Prince Albert, Prince Rainier, you know. When showtime came, you know, I was like, I had a lot of adrenaline.
He misses twice.
And I remember the only thing that I told Miguel, don't worry about it, we got tomorrow.
People think, oh, you guys were very smart. You miss the first two, so you can build up, you know, this. And you think I'm going to take a chance of missing? No way, Jose.
The Flying Vazquez.
My legs were a little shaky, you know, just from the whole ordeal. I landed in the net not very good, and I hurt my shoulder. I mentioned to the ringmaster that I will try it one more time.
Sie haben es bis in den Morgen aufgebaut, konnten kaum probieren, sind eigentlich übermüdet.
As he went up the ladder and got to the platform, he told us that he had hurt his arm.
I was so tense that I didn't even cross my mind that he got hurt.
I went back up in the pedestal, gathered my thoughts.
We didn't say anything. We were like, oh my God, now what's going to happen? But he went up again on the, you know, he said, put the raise, we put the raise.
Erfordert einen viel höher angesetzten Schwung, eine ganz andere ballistische Kurve, eine andere Drehbewegung, eine völlig andere körperliche und auch geistige Konzentration. Jawohl!
That is the dream of every performer. You know, it's like an Academy Award. It's your pinnacle. It's where you know, that's the biggest thing you do.
Der erste Mensch zu sein, der den vierfachen Salto schafft.
In Mexico, the Flying Vazquez.
The Flying Vazquez vom Circo Union in Mexico City haben den Zirkus-Oscar, den Goldenen Clown in Monte Carlo, gewonnen.
Au Flying Vazquez. Remis par son Altesse Sérénissime, le Prince Souverain.
And at the end, they awarded us with the Gold Clown, 1990 in Monte Carlo. I was nervous, you know, not a lot, but somewhat, yes, I was. This is a Guinness Book World Record certificate. This is not in English, this is in German. 1994, Munich, Germany. And this is where we actually did the last quadruple somersault in performance. We were in Circus Krone.
We stopped flying.
We were in the trailer and he said to me, Rosa, I don't think I want to keep doing this. It's taken a toll, you know, physically and mentally, because the demand of the quad was so big, you know, knowing I have to deliver, if I miss, you know, The act doesn't look the same. They're expecting him to catch the quad. Emotionally, he was feeling drained.
At the end of '94, we came home to Sarasota.
My wife and me, we had a little money, so we opened a little cafe in Florida. And that was a nightmare.
When I was in Ringling Brothers, every Sunday we used to have Sunday services in the morning. And then I became very interested in the Bible. Since 1989, I was involved in the church, active in the church. But I didn't become an ordained minister till that year. I was helping the pastor of the local church, so I will help, with the music ministry and just helping whatever I could. And it became something very, very important to me. My wife and also my brother Juan and Patricia, it was something that we felt passionate about. We studied it, we believed it, Some people don't believe it, but we do believe it. It's just a big part of our life. We were invited to perform at Circus Circus. I was not doing the quad anymore, but that wouldn't have been a problem because the ceiling was too low. It was different, definitely not like being in Ringling or Europe.
There's a lot of difference between Circus Skinny and Circus Circus, Las Vegas, because it's a casino. I mean, you're working and people are playing, and then you're throwing a difficult trick, and then you hit the machine. Bling, 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 bling. I think we was over here 6 months. We went to Reno for, I think, 2 years. We came back to Las Vegas. Here in Las Vegas, he said, I'm going to retire again. He said, okay, why not? Until Miguel again decided he wants to come back again. And then we did Circus for another year. And then after that, we quit. We just quit.
Trapeze is one of the hardest acts in the circus. A lot of people say it's an act of youth. When you're young, it's good, it's fun, it's exciting, it's daring, it's challenging. As you get older, circumstances change, and then it's when you say, well, maybe I just learn how to do a small balancing act with a little table, and I can travel with a suitcase and make decent money, and I don't have to risk my life.
The defining characteristic of circus that most people would agree to up until recent times was risk-taking.
There were a number of aerial acts that were considered to be very dangerous. The one that really started off this intense competition was the art of circus leaping. People would run down a long plank and jump off a stiff hickory springboard, do somersaults over elephants, and land on a mattress. People were killing themselves in this frenzy of competition. By 1859, either Jules Leotard or William Hanlon had invented the flying act.
Leotard flew from one swing to another, turning a single somersault.
The earliest actual flying return act that I found was invented by a guy who called himself the Marquis de Gonza in England in 1877. He came up with the idea of swinging from a trapeze bar, catching a flyer that would fly out to him on a separate bar, do a trick, he would catch him, return him to the trapeze bar and back to the pedestal board. There was a question of decency and morality involved there too. Trapeze was considered an adult performance. It just wasn't customary to see a woman's ankles, much less her legs. People considered that they would inspire the more sensational emotions in a man, get his glands working.
People were looking for
any kind of sensational performance. There was a one-legged trapeze performer. Leona Dare was maybe the most sensational of a number of performers who performed the trapeze under a hot air balloon. A gal named Lala in London was doing an act where she would hang upside down from a trapeze holding a cannon from an iron jaw clasp. Someone asked her how it felt to do that, and she said, "What?" From the 1860s to the 1880s, it was common to use children in trapeze acts. It was argued that it was exploitation of the worst sort because it put the children in peril.
Eddie Silben was the first to do the double somersault using a catcher.
The big trick came to be the triple somersault. Lena Jordan did it in the 1890s. The first man to complete a triple somersault with a flying return act was Ernie Clark.
In the 20s, Alfredo Cardona was by far the most famous flying trapeze artist. He was legendary.
Art Kinsella said of Cardona that he could have stepped off the curb and gotten hit by a truck, and he would have fallen so gracefully that people would have applauded. He became reckless and took chances, took a few bad falls, and finally injured himself so bad he couldn't perform anymore.
His techniques were far inferior to what has evolved now, like the Vazquez.
There were a number of people doing the triple somersault in the late 30s and 1940s, including Art and Antoinette Kinsella. In the 1950s, there was sort of a dry period. Faye Alexander actually said that Art Kinsella discouraged him from doing a triple somersault because so many people had injured themselves trying it. Faye Alexander, Reggie Armour, and then Tony Steele were probably the greatest flyers of the 1950s.
Around 5 years ago, I started getting interested in circus history, also trapeze history, just to find out more about it.
You know what? I was here a very long time ago. I must have been like 10 years old, so, it's very big for me. Yeah.
And thrill to incredible feats of skill and daring.
What a great wire worker, even in his late age, he was still going.
We're standing in front of the cornerstone of really the wonderment of this collection, the Howard Brothers Circus model. It's really the mission of this institution to really talk about the history of the circus from the earliest time to the present day. John Ringling said, "Go to the circus and lose years off of you. You become a child." What the circus gives us is the experience of real people doing incredible acts of daring right before our eyes in real time. When you meet the real thing, when you meet the people who have flown through the air, you are changed. Flying Kinsellos.
2.5.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love how the posters want to tell you exactly, just like yours.
What's
you know,
going on.
1, 2, and on it. Trapeze has changed over the years.
That was the main advertising back in the days.
Yep.
Well,
Right here.
That was it, yeah. No TV.
No TV.
No Facebook.
No Facebook.
No YouTube.
No YouTube. Now, is it over 2,000?
We caught close to 3,000. I think it was 2,900 and something, I think. I don't know the number right off the top of my head,
That's incredible.
And did you do every performance?
Irvin Fell says, no quad in the matinee, so I said,
Oh.
great. This is funny because look at the costumes there.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For a whole nother generation, you know, you created that centering excitement.
Tito Gaona has a trapeze school in Venice, not far from the Ringling Museum.
Tito Gaona was part of a family troupe. They had this wonderful, energetic act. I really thought at the time they were the greatest circus act of their generation.
And here is Tito with a daring triple somersault and a triple pirouette return for the first time ever.
Trapeze guys wanted to go see Tito just to be able to see how he was doing his triple.
Tito, I think, is the greatest innovator as far as tricks on the trapeze.
Tito's trapeze school is located next to the old Venice Arena, which was the winter quarters of Ringling Brothers from the 60s to the 90s. Every 2 years we had a new show, so I will take formation here.
4 weeks from tonight is the final dress rehearsal. And then we get out on the road. I'm sure that we will all work to make this the greatest show on earth.
Mr. Elvenfeld's office right there. He will open his blinds and see inside what was going on. I used to hit that thing in my back, so they padded it for me.
Fun part about this was joining the first day of rehearsals, when you meet the new performers.
Yes, yeah.
I had my eyes on new soccer players.
Yeah, it just brings back a lot of memories.
We were brought up with the real circus, with the sawdust, with the three-ring spectacular.
When circus was real, flying was a religion. Now what do you got? Pink lights, ballet girls, blue sawdust, a lot of hoopla.
And flying is a religion, and that's true. Don't you know, when a kid, I want to be Superman, I want to be Batman, you know? Well, I want to be Cardona, you know?
Tito showed me Alfredo Cordona's pedestal board.
Here is a boy who makes a specialty of extracting teeth from the jaws of death. He's Alfredo Cardona, greatest living trapeze artist. It's a matter of perfect timing, worked out to the fraction of a second. The pirouette. And there you have it. Hooray!
So here they're doing a passing leap with a shoot over. And this is just amazing to me because it was like 1930, 1931. And he's doing a 2.5 of a triple pirouette back, but he just does it incredibly well done. It's just beautiful. High and tight and
the triple somersault.
Great.
The history of this trick is a history of death. It has killed more persons than all other dangerous circus stunts combined. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Just techniques have changed so much
What
from those
a nice
days
way to make a living.
to our days.
Hasta el tira.
See?
Little rosin bag.
Little rosin bag, look at that. I've seen this pedestal in photos and in videos.
Mr. Alfredo Cardona, see? What? Here it is with me. We carry with us the 5th, 6th generations. What you see today, groups of people throwing them together and do an act. And they just don't have the dedication as a family. But now that we all finish, there's no one anymore. They're all gone. You know who was my favorite flyer, besides me and Miguel? Tony Curtis.
Tony Curtis as the Circus Flyer, a man of incredible skill and daring.
I was only 10 years old, and I saw trapeze.
Trapeze! A picture soaring high, high, high above them all.
It really inspired me a lot. Like a kid, Tino being Tito, and I want to be like him, that I want to be like Tony Curtis, I guess, and that became a reality.
I love them all. The circus movies are most of them pretty hokey.
For your own sake, Lola, get out. One night these hands won't be there to catch you.
It's Hollywood's version of what the circus is.
Triple. Are you crazy? Don't you know why I'm a rigger?
But I already threw a double somersault and I need a little help on the third.
Just a little help on the third, huh? That's all there is to it.
Well, I know it's not
You're coming out of that third somersault, you're coming out like an express train. And you're coming out blind. You got 1 split second to reach for your catcher. And he's got 1 split second to reach for you.
I didn't like the movie Trapeze either. The scene where they take the net off. That doesn't happen. Who takes the net off?
Take down the net!
Nobody takes the net off.
Quick, quick! Take it down, take it down!
I don't like circus movies because I've always felt that they represent the circus in a very chaotic and unrealistic way. You don't get up in the morning with makeup and costumes and flipping around everywhere. It's not like that, chaotic that way. Yeah, it bugs me. It bothers me.
It bothers you,
Flying trapeze is rivalry.
We were a mediocre act. Our biggest trick was double somersault. That was the biggest trick. But then, when the flying act started doing better and better and better, people that I thought they was my friends, they became not my enemies, but my jealousy came into it.
Jealousy, my God, I went through so much. It was so horrible. My capes were torn, cut with knives and everything. It's just unbelievable.
Certain things happened to our equipment, the rigging, where we noticed that somebody tampered with them.
It was sad and it was scary.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who was your friend.
Well, we don't go to the circus as much as we used to because the circus is not how it used to be. But once in a while, we take the kids. I'll take David and Christian to see the circus. So when I take them to the show, I show them, this is where Daddy and Mom used to work. Used to travel with Ringling Brothers.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, welcome to the greatest show on earth!
Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, all access free.
Yes, what are you excited to see? The clowns! Double high five! Is there anything else other than clowns that you're excited to see? The elephants! Well, we should take a picture. What do you think? Okay, are you ready? Over here. Say cheese. We got it! All right, put it there. All right, see you later, buddy.
I remember when I was here, 20 years back. It seems like yesterday. It's a wonderful feeling being in the Ringling show again. It's still the greatest show on earth.
One time Ringling actually had 3 flying trapeze acts going on. When I was there, it was 2. At the moment, there's have a 1 trapeze act in 1 unit, and the other unit has no flying trapeze at all.
How can you have a circus without a flying act? It's a mortal sin.
As I was growing up, Ringling was a 3-ring circus. Right now, it went down to 1 ring.
They kind of targeting or catering to a smaller, younger crowd. But the intensity and the greatness of those big acts they used to have is not that important to, I believe, to them anymore.
The circus has become less focused and vital to the culture.
The animal rights movement has had a profound subliminal or blatant effect on the public. A lot of people don't want to go because they've been convinced that animal acts are sinister and are horrible.
When I talk with all performers, we're in
all we agree, we live in the best time of the circus. It was something different. Now it's...
There's this concept that circus has died, and it is in the process, it is in the death throes of ending what it was. Circus has never been a constant. Circus has been in a state of constant flux.
Cirque du Soleil has sort of taken the lead now, but it isn't the classical form at all.
Juan and I started doing some rigging backstage in some of the shows here in Las Vegas, where I started working for Cirque du Soleil. We are at the O Theater by Cirque du Soleil, and we're gonna get ready to do our presets before the show. My job at the moment, I'm a flyman operator. Everybody's got an inspection sheet, and everybody comes up and starts doing their inspections. These are the winches that we use for flymen, and obviously before we even start doing any type of flying, we need to come in and inspect and make sure everything is safe and 100% operational. Belt, and everything looks fine. The stage is already preset for us for flyman training, which is coming up. Here are the controllers where we actually control flymen. From here, we do flying with the joystick. The winches are moving like really, really fast. I'm guessing moving anywhere between 25, 30 feet per second. After he wraps his hands, he gives me a big hop with his head. When he gives me that big hop, it's time for me to take him. Good, Miguel. We did our training, and the rest of the day we'll finish doing the rest of our presets, make sure all the equipment is in place where it's supposed to be and ready to go for the show.
These huge Cirque shows, which are, you know, all really incredible. I mean, when you look at what it takes to mount that type of performance, just the amount of techs that it needs just to pull off what it does, it's astronomical. Performers, as they get older and retire, they can't really handle retirement. They don't really understand it.
Working at Cirque, it gives us the opportunity to continue to use our skills from our circus background.
They're giving us a place where we can go and still be a part of making that magic every day.
Everybody in both of our families works either for Cirque du Soleil or Le Rêve, except for Christian.
I started working here at the Wynn Hotel at the La Rêve Theater in the year 2004 as backstage technician. This is my safety harness, man. So nice and comfortable. And you get it for free at La Rêve. Right, brother? Yes, sir.
Am I going with Bruce or am I going with Juan? I'm going with catwalk. Okay.
Check, check, check. Okay, copy. Always keep these two hands in it. Then you take one hand out. Then you go to the atrius loop, and then you transfer to this one over here.
Okay.
little more. Keep going. Good job. Yeah, good. Locked. Okay, line coming in. Okay, good. He's good right there. Clear to go to the water. All right. Good job, Chris. We got a winch over here. We got a winch over here. All this apparatus, it moves towards the stage. And it goes inside here. And when it's inside, the lift lines go down all the way to the pool level. This is the top. This is a list. Whatever we check, we have to write over here that we checked it. See, I got to check the harness over here, make sure that the harness is fine, they're working properly. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Right there.
Patricia works at the La Rev costume shop, and so do I.
These are some dresses that we're making for one of the acts that did the magic trick. So we actually patterned them and made them here in the shop. I patterned it and cut it, and then the girls all put them together for us.
These are the shoes that are worn in the show. Every day they get wet. So as you can see, they get kind of peeled here. Sometimes the paint will come off of them, like this one here. So then we peel them all even, and then we usually paint them again with new paint so that they're show ready. Victoria's performed in a couple of cirque shows as a flyer.
I hadn't thought about trapeze in a long time, and I mean a long time. And all of a sudden I started thinking about it again. In 2010, Juan and I were invited to the Circus Historical Society convention, where we were part of the panel discussion with three of the greatest flyers in history. Tony Steele was one of the best flyers in the 1950s. Tony was the first person to do a 3.5. Terry Cabarrero is considered to be the best woman flyer of all time. She did over 20,000 triples during her career.
And now the big moment. 1, 2, 3 and over. Incredible.
Richie Gaona was a member of the Flying Gaonas. Richie and his family, including his brother Tito, were one of the most popular acts Ringling had in the late 60s and 70s.
That's the only thing I'm doing.
Today is history in the making.
There's just never going to be anything quite like the Flying Return Act. It requires cooperation, timing, superb physical conditioning, discipline, and the grace and poise of a bird. Imagine the perfect performance, then imagine the very best of these extraordinary people who do it, and that's what we have with us today.
Sometimes you go up there and you feel like a little feather, and sometimes you feel like a ton of bricks.
Yes.
I know in our body we can still do it, but in our mind. But the body is not responding as well anymore, so you know.
Circus LA, they just kind of throw people together, and then they're not a family thing, so they can leave whenever they want. We were sticking together all the time through hard times or whatever, and performed for so many years.
And then you go to Circus, and there's all kinds of things happening underneath you, and there's like crap tables and people yelling and screaming.
What was your reaction when you heard these guys were doing the quad?
I couldn't believe it, actually. I had to see it to believe it. It could be trick photography, for all I know.
1, 2, hold that, right, go, up.
Richie Gaona has a trapeze school in Los Angeles. He not only coaches professionals, but has one of the best regarded trapeze schools for amateurs.
Glad you made it though.
Richie was having a special amateur trapeze workshop, and he asked me if I would be a guest instructor along with his brother Tito.
1, 2.
That's it.
2, right, go.
When you break and when you're in this position,
I know, that's what it is.
give you back a little arch. That will stop you from rotating.
And 1, 2. Ready, go. Don't bend. Don't bend. 1, 2. Look up. Up. There you go. And 1, 2. Hold it.
Hold it.
I can't feel that spot, that combination of when to let go and not rotating through my shoulders.
Yeah. As you force out in the front, breathe out.
It was a one-time thing. I was going to come with a couple friends as one of these, one-day weekend adventure things. We came with this other girl I was dating and another friend. And I was like, I don't know if things are going to last with this girl, but trapeze is going to be around for a while. I find people like Miguel, and I find their videos, and you see, wow, okay, there really are legends that are, preceded us, and it's cool to discover that for the first time.
Up and over. Very
There
good.
are a lot of trapeze schools all over the world. Armando Farfan teaches here in Las Vegas.
Ready. Up. Get up. Push through. Look at that. Want to do the swing?
And Terry Cabrera has a trapeze school here.
Backwards, forward. Straight. Straight.
All right. Good. Final. Wait. Yes.
When we started out, there was no trapeze schools around. You pretty much had to learn on your own. Uncle Paulo can tell you about that.
Well, we decided to do the flying act. So we tell, we tell the flyers, the other one, they got another flying act, we're going to start a flying act. And they say, oh, good. Okay, we come and help you when you start practice. We start practice. And nobody came.
My son David started getting interested in trapeze. He must have been around 12 or 13 when he started coming up with me, and I started teaching him how to catch.
I was starting to gain interest, and then when I went up there, it felt nice, and when you swing, you feel like you're flying.
Up. Good one.
I asked my uncle if he would help me, teach me a little bit, some of the basics.
I was talking to Dave, and I said, he gave me, Tio, what do you think? I said, honey, you can do it. You got the strength, your legs are strong, and you have to have the willingness, the desire and love to do it, and I know you can do it. See the thing I do, see this line over here?
Yeah.
Match it with that one over there. So see
he taught me how to lock, how to keep my swing, keep it going, generate the energy that you need for the swing.
When the timing is right and la salida is right, it can be real smooth. You don't even feel it.
Yeah. He caught me for the very, very first time today, a planche. The funny thing, I remember him being this small, like this little guy, and I mean, never would imagine actually my son catching me, you know. That was like something I never really even went through my mind, because, you know, you see them as little kids all the time, and eventually they do grow up and become men, and it was a great privilege having him catch me. And we'll work it out, and before it's all said and done, I want him to catch my triple. And then you can catch Christian. Yeah. Like my brother and I maybe these guys are even at about the same age difference as Juan and I. You know, you never know. Maybe the last great circus flyer, it will be this guy here.
I can see it in my little Christian. Like, I can see him being a great flyer. Yeah. Yes.
There, if you let go too hard, you might just skip the net and just fall down the dirt. When I grow up, well, I want to be a flyer, like Miguel Vazquez. Yes. But it's pretty scary when you first look at the ladder, how high it is. I'm scared.
No, you're okay. So come on.
But when you climb at it, you pass that. But, you know, when you go on the trapeze, you get a little shaky feeling inside your stomach.
Yeah, and I'm going to put my knees in your
They hook me up?
Yeah.
Well, you know those little belts that they put on you for safety. And then my dad, Miguel Vazquez, tells me how to hold the bar. He's saying just, you know, to put your hands far. I grabbed onto the bars. It's no biggie. But I don't want to do it. I'm so afraid.
Okay, we're going to send him down. He changed his mind.
That's okay.
Next time you do it, okay? Don't worry about it.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'll invite everyone out.
Huh?
I'll invite everyone out.
You invite everybody to your practice session?
Mm-hmm. When you're doing a trapeze, you don't have a belt. You need to hold on to the bar so you don't fall off.
That just swings really slowly, and you're going to be swinging, but I'm going to have you with the ropes. And then you're going to swing like 3 times, and when I said you let go, you're going to let go, and I have you. That's it. Pedestal to the net, it's like 12 feet maybe.
Well, that's not that high. It's just that I get the funny feeling.
I know you get the funny feeling, but it's normal to get that funny feeling, but you have to go through a funny feeling.
You mean just like
I get a funny feeling always when I fly first, but once you do it one time, it goes away. You won't go nowhere. You're going to be floating like you always float. You can even say your daddy will let you go, and you're not even going to fall. You're going to just fly.
No.
Which way do you have? Swung a few times, and then in the front when Tia says let go, you let go. Remember, and you have to by the mechanics. Okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Good baby. All right, Christian.
Thumbs under, thumbs under.
Yes, Christian. Don't worry about it. Okay, next time you let it go, okay? When I say so. Go! Here is you. Bravo, Pico.
No more.
Give me 5.
I think I got a little bit nauseous on that fall.
Yes? Why? It was perfect.
If I go on the trapeze, my Theo would give me $5. So far from trapeze, I got. Can I use my finger to do this?
Absolutely.
$17. It's hard to do with trapeze. Once you get that funny feeling away, then you can do the trapeze super good.
Christian, if we would make him, he would do it. But, you know, he doesn't really want to do it, and we're not going to make him. The old timers, they push their kids to be the best that they could be, more than giving their kids the choice. Do you want to be a circus performer, or do you want to, you know, study and have a career? It was more about, he's my son, he's going to be the best trapeze artist.
My father was strict.
Sí, muy estricto.
You want to do it, but sometimes it doesn't come easy. Deep down inside, you don't really want to do it. You just want to have fun.
And they spanked them, and you know, that was the way it was at the time.
Parents, you know, they were strict with their kids, and they forced them, make them wake up early in the morning.
Yeah. You gotta get up at 5, you know, and don't eat so much candy.
And we was happy when my dad fall asleep, so we don't have to go to practice.
Practice 3-4 hours, and you know, they were pushing them quite hard.
Used to give me a couple of whacks with the belt because, let's say, okay, Juan, I want you to do roundel, fifth fly, and somersault. And I didn't do the somersault, and then he got upset.
I was the last child, so by the time it came for me to start practicing and learning, my dad was a lot more mellow and more relaxed. You know, he already had put like 5 or 6 through the systems.
I think every single father in the circus wanted their child or their act to be the best act. My father was pretty, I felt like he was very hard on me. We used to rehearse every single day. When it came practice time, I used to get sick. I mean, sick to my stomach. If something didn't come out right, and it repeatedly didn't come out right, then I would get spanked. And let me tell you, it worked. It worked because then then you just immediately you're, okay, I really have to focus and I really better do this right. My father was a very loving man. I mean, he was a great father. He was just very disciplined. Nowadays, things have changed so much, society, that, you know, we're to talk to our children, you're not to spank them. But I do recall, Phil, that sometimes you need it. And I'm not saying it, you know, I think sometimes they might have gone overboard. You know?
But that was just kind of the way things were back in those days, and not only in circus, in any other sport or discipline, you know, somebody had to push you.
When you grow up in the circus, when you're born in the circus, I don't think you have kind of a choice, really. I don't ever really remember saying we like this or we didn't like it. We just always did it.
This is what we do.
We just always did it. Unlike our younger sister, who from the moment they put her up there, she said she didn't like it and she did not want to do it.
It was just never really anything I was ever interested in the circus.
We were just put up there so young, and we were jumping on the net like at the age of 2. Probably went up on the trapeze around the age of 4, and then we didn't start taking it, rehearsing or practicing seriously until we were about 7.
So it wasn't you have to do it, but it was this is what we do, so this is what we can teach you.
Neither of us were forced into trapeze. We were never forced to do what we didn't want.
It's not that I didn't like trapeze.
I just like didn't have a passion, like I didn't feel a calling for it.
So nowadays, really, it can be your choice. Parents give their kids the choice to fly or not to fly, or to be a performer, not to be a performer.
There was a period of time where you could have children in the acts. Now you really can't. It's not as common as it was. In that period of time when all these kids were flying and all this was happening, that doesn't happen that much anymore.
It's a life experience at Circus Vargas.
Can you give me some popcorn?
Muchas gracias por la invitación.
Sí, no.
You can keep the balancing feather and you can keep clown nose. How about a round of applause for all the kids in the ring? Sit back and enjoy our show.
Consecutive legendary triple somersault! We are honored to have in our audience this evening the world's greatest ever flying trapeze artist, Las Vegas, around the globe for Mr. Miguel Vazquez!
It's such a pleasure for you to be here for us, really. The Flyers, everybody was just thrilled. We know what it was, we know what you did, we know your commitment.
I was invited to a practice session next morning with some of the Circus Vargas Flyers. November in Las Vegas, it was cold.
Trapeze, for me, it's my life. To get to do a quadruple, you have to put everything you have in it, everything. I still want to try, I still want to keep doing it and try and do that thing to see what would happen, you know? Hopefully it would happen, maybe not.
I love my circus life, you know.
I love to work for people, for the audience, you know. When you finish your act, everybody's like looking at you, you know, like clapping. You feel that energy in your skin, you know.
Since I was little, it was always something I wanted to do. I guess it makes me happy. I always wanted to be in the circus all my life. I was born into it, so that's what I saw. I saw my dad performing, I saw my mom performing, my uncles, my whole family performing. And when I started going to public school, and the teachers are, what do you want to do? What do you want to do when you graduate from school? Don't you want to be something? Don't you want to work somewhere, get a good job? For me, in my head, it was trapeze. To a town person, they don't understand that, they don't know the life that it is. I know what it is. What I always wanted to be. I know I want to do it for as long as I can. I guess eventually the time will come that my body just will say no, and I won't be able to do it, and that's when I'll have to stop. That's a big fear for me, actually. I think about that a lot.
This thing's been retired for like 15 years. He was saying that he always had in mind, always wanted me to come up and fly with him, and it's going to happen today.
Finally it's gonna happen.
Incredible.
Everybody pretty much knows that he was the best flyer. Well, it's kind of an unreal feeling, you know, to be on the pedestal with Miguel Vazquez, you know. Juan.
Was there ever a trick that you didn't do that you would have liked to done?
You know, now that I'm older, there's a few tricks that I know I could have done,
but I never took the time because, you know, we were like, we had to do the quad, and then after we did the quad, we had to keep it consistent because, you know, we had so much pressure, you know. It was always
First video I saw from Miguel was one of his quadruples. I think he was in Ringling. He was with the red costume. I was around 7, just before I started doing trapeze. Watching that video, I was like, whoa, you know? And just the way he fly, everything, I just wanted to be that, you know, wanted to do that.
I can picture that trick being so cool for the eye, because you're gonna go boom, 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 and come out again. So in the triple twisting double, you really gotta go up, 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 and then up.
Circus artists are people who come to grips with their fears.
I've really never been afraid. Sometimes I do have respect for height and what we are trying to accomplish, but that just makes you concentrate.
Do you ever get scared? No, never. Don't think about it. I enjoy doing it.
If you're afraid, then fear overcomes you instead of you overcoming fear, and then you'll always fall short of trying the bigger tricks or the greater tricks.
Right.
And I see this a lot in the newer flyers right now. You know, now that I have talked to some of them and flew with some of them, I could tell, you know, they have fear.
I'm afraid of high, so that was the problem. You know, I feel that adrenaline and that scare inside of me, but I am afraid of high. I fell many times already, so.
There are times where I'm afraid. Every time I do something new, I'm afraid. And then there are those people who are up there and they're like, I'll try this. I don't care, whatever happens, happens.
The danger involved in this dealing with fear is there are moments where you have to delude yourself, if you will. Maybe that's the wrong word. Where you have to face the fear and then overcome it.
I started flying roughly when I was 3 years old. I didn't start performing till I was 6.
Over ring 3, 10-year-old Tato Farfan.
Every single night before practice, I would cry just about every night. I would cry and I would pray obsessively for something to happen where I didn't have to go and do it again. I had incredibly tiny hands. I'm 6 foot tall, but I have extremely tiny hands. And so grabbing a 1-inch bar for me today, my fingers barely touch on the far side. So as a child, that bar was like that. When you're facing that type of fear every day, every performance, yes, you love the performance, and basically all that's happening is you're learning to love the addiction, the adrenaline addiction.
She flew through the air with the greatest of class, had a very high swing, and did you want prose or poetry? When you're a trapeze artist, you are proud and arrogant. They'll watch films of their act over and over again, and oh, that's magnificent, wow.
Sí, todos los trapecistas son muy arrogantes. Todos son, no hay nadie mejor que ellos.
You were up there on the board, and all those other people are just peasants.
I wore glasses. I was able to see good enough to see my brother Juan, and a lot of my flying was really done by feeling more than anything else, you know.
And one day he caught a quadruple somersault, and I threw the bar wrong and he missed it. Oh my goodness, he got real mad at me.
What is it like to fly on the trapeze? It's the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
My friend Alberto Marinelli of Circus Vargas asked me if we would consider to do a special flying appearance with them in Circus Vargas. Juan and I thought about it. We haven't done anything in a long time, like 8 years, so for sure we knew we had to practice.
What hurts when you do that now?
Everything, man. We really didn't have enough time to prepare ourselves. I didn't feel I was ready for it because, you know, I wanted to always, I want to do the best I can. We still had one more day scheduled of filming, so we decided to see if we could catch the triple just for fun, just for ourselves.
Got him.
Doing the quadruple was an amazing thing to begin with. The fact that they had actually mastered the trick. It was absolute skill, absolute artistry.
Maybe the time passed. Maybe it's not, do you know some things are important at a certain time and then time passes and then it gets lost. It's not important anymore. For whatever reason at that time it was important.